Jordan Peterson is going through some things, not so good things. Last week, the so-called self-help guy was suspended from Twitter for blatantly deadnaming, misgendering, and being obsessed with Elliot Page's body. Page, who is transgender, recently, maybe not recently, but had disclosed that he had went through top surgery in order to help with gender dysphoria to match his identity. That apparently made Peterson a little uncomfortable. Curious. Maybe it's because he couldn't fap to Elliot Page anymore. I don't know. Maybe we'll get into that. Peterson then also criticized the physician who helped Page go through this transition, calling that physician a butcher. Interesting. So now he gets suspended for this deeply transphobic tweet and decided to double down, of course. In response to the suspension on Instagram, Peterson said this, and this was him on Instagram talking about being banned on Twitter.
In response to the decision of an actor named Elliot Page, I am employing this awkward and impossible naming style because it is now apparently mandatory and am probably doing it wrong nonetheless, as you're doing it wrong is the whole point of what has been made mandatory. But also, I'm trying to make a point. I've essentially been banned from Twitter as a consequence. I say banned, although technically I have been suspended. But the suspension will not be lifted unless I delete the hateful tweet in question, and I would rather die than do that. And hopefully it will not come to that, although who the hell knows in these increasingly strange days.
I mean, again, dramatic much? Wow. I would rather die than use pronouns and not deadening Elliot Page. You know, he talked about how difficult it is. Oh, the impossible standards. How hard is it? His name is Elliot and he's a man. That's it. Oh my God. It's that simple. Wow. But no. Oh no. Very, very difficult. Very difficult for him. Now, again, here's the thing. It's only difficult if you make it difficult. And that's what Jordan Peterson's doing. He's just making it difficult. And by the way, it's also what transphobes do. They're obviously incredibly obsessed with other people's genitals. It's true. And I have a couple of theories, and you know, maybe they're right, maybe not. For one, again, as I mentioned, Peterson probably is mad that he had once jerked off to Elliot. Just saying. And now, again, he can't because he's disgusted, like, oh my God. Oh, I can't do that now. Oh, Elliot has transitioned. He is now confused and horny, possibly horngry. It's a new word. It's a mix of horny and angry. He's horngry, everybody. But again, that's just, I mean, that's beyond, this goes beyond Peterson, okay? And I do think that transphobic men specifically, and I'm actually talking about in general for transgender people, okay? On transgender women, for example, transphobes, I think they feel betrayed. These men, okay? They for them, being a man is totally awesome and wonderful. I'm a man. I feel like it's pretty awesome too. I like being a dude. All right, great. Now, of course, for men, there's a lot of reasons why being a man is great. For one, there's never been any question of my reproductive rights. I wish women had the same, you know, I wish we didn't question their reproductive rights. It'd be great if we didn't. If we let them do what they're going to do with their own bodies. But for men, there's never been a question. Never been a question, right? No one's ever tried to legislate being a man males' bodies and what we do with them. So now, why transphobes are so triggered by trans women is because maybe they see them as gender traitors. I mean, all the time. And again, it goes back to how obsessed they are with transgender people's genitals. They're mad because, oh, you're chopping off your penis. How dare you? You'll never be a real woman. Because you don't have a uterus. And of course, it comes down to, we want to control that uterus. Right-wing men, and I've pointed this out before, right? A lot of them see women as walking, talking wombs, of which they can just breed. That's it. Now, trans people do not fit into their worldview at all. And so they want to erase them. And worse, they want those people who in their minds are second-class citizens. You know, women, they think women are second-class citizens whose only purpose is to be used for reproduction. That's what they see women as. And so transgender women don't fit into that because, well, you can't even fit the primary purpose of what I think a woman should be, and that's just breeding stock. And worse, you're a gender traitor. You're a gender traitor. How dare you become something else that I want to control, but can't? Now, for trans men, transphobes will look at that. We'll look at people like Elliot Page and say, well, you still have a uterus. And so you'll never be a man. You'll never be one of us. And I can still control you because you still have a uterus. So understand that that's the pathology that we're dealing with. So those are the theories, right? And again, I just sit there and think about, okay, what drives a transphobe to think about this, to obsess about people's genitals so much? Why do they obsess about this? Why do they obsess about, what is the technical definition of a woman? I mean, they had made a whole ridiculous documentary about it. And I think that's the only thing that I could think of. So that's the pathology I think we're dealing with a lot of transphobes. But there's another one that's at play, and that concerns the right-wing griftosphere. Great example of that, Dave Rubin. Here's what he tweeted. The insanity continues at Twitter. Jordan Peterson is suspended for this tweet about, and again, he dead names Elliot Page. He just told me he will never delete the tweet. Paging Elon Musk. Now, I love how they immediately run to, anytime they get in trouble, right? They run to Daddy Musk. Hilarious. As if Elon Musk controls Twitter. Again, he hasn't even bought Twitter. Very likely he will not buy Twitter. Will never complete the sale. Will try to get out of paying the $1 billion he owes for not doing the sale. But it doesn't matter. It really shows how some of these people, again, if you're out there calling for Elon Musk to come and save you because you broke TOS on purpose, well, and this is what you are.
Beta male. Beta.
That's it. But it gets funnier. And also more sad. Because, again, Dave Rubin, he didn't get suspended for quoting or showing an image of Jordan Peterson's tweet. In that same tweet, he also dead names Elliot Page. Dead names him. And then, by the way, afterwards, after he gets suspended for this, he goes and does a statement where he basically directs people to his shitty website, Locals. So, he goes and he cries. And that's what Dave Rubin does. That's what all these conservatives do. They get suspended doing things on purpose that they know they're not going to be, or that they shouldn't actually do. And then they cry. Oh my God, I can't believe I broke the rules. I can't believe you're punishing me for breaking the rules. Now I'm going to go cry and beg for attention and for money. And it does work. It does work. Speaking of grifters, Ben Shapiro. Here comes Ben Shapiro wading into this as well. And, well, we know what it is.
It's like a Sharknado, except with poop.
Here's what he said. He said, Rubin Report has now been suspended for posting news about Jordan Peterson's suspension, all because we are not allowed to mention that until 5 minutes ago, Elliot Page, who was very, 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 very male, was a female actress. Here's Dave's statement. And again, also dead names Elliot Page. So again, they keep doing it. They keep doing the same damn thing. But then, and by the way, he knows exactly what he's doing. That's why he also says, well, Elliot, very, 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 very male, you know, up until like 5 minutes ago. No, not literally 5 minutes ago. Elliot Page has been in transition for a long time. And look, even when we didn't know that Elliot Page was transgender, he knew what he was, and he was struggling with it for quite some time until he was able to finally come out and be himself. Now, Ben Shapiro, of course, didn't give a damn. What Ben Shapiro was doing is kind of skirting the line, right? So he's saying the things, he's for one being a little careful so that he doesn't get banned, but also sets it up that if he gets banned, he's got something to cry about. And so what he's doing is partaking in the right-wing grievance industry that has popped up. And so, look, when you get banned on Twitter or on social media and you're a right-winger for flagrantly violating TOS, that actually helps you on the right. It really, really does. You get all this attention. Hell, maybe Joe Rogan talks about it. And then you get to hawk your shitty website or your social media service, which, by the way, in a lot of these cases, and we've looked, for example, Locals, friend of the show, Lance, over at the Surfs, created an account on Locals. And guess what? When you create an account, you have to be approved. Okay? So he put down the name, Debate Sam Cedar, you coward. Hey, look, I thought you believe in free speech, right? Don't you believe in free speech? Well, he's expressing his free speech by putting that username out. What happened? It took him a year over on Locals to basically deny his request and ban him. Hey, what are you talking about? Free speech! Free speech! What's wrong with you guys? No, they oftentimes have rules and TOSs that are more restrictive than we have on Twitter. And then they, of course, are the first ones to cry about the TOS on Twitter. I mean, again, we talked about True Social, how excessive capitalization will get you banned. Come on. Again, the whole thing is ridiculous. And by the way, sets up a weirdo right-wing echo chamber where they all cry about how their free speech is being violated somehow by someone else. But anyway, they've taken this, the people who run these sites, the Dave Rubins, the Ben Shapiros of the world, they have used this in order to make money. So this is not about any sort of principles. This is not about freedom. It's not about liberty. No, what it is that it's about attention, it's about money, and it's about making yourself into a victim. Which right now, the right wing is in love with being a victim. They just eat up that victimhood mentality with a big old spoon. Because that's who they are.